Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my April 2019 horoscope report for you, where I will give you the need-to-knows for your sign, as well as talk extensively about the general transit energies, the conflicts between them, where they're rolling together, and how you can best use this knowledge of the energies to have the most graceful, productive month possible. Definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, where you can check out my blog. Among other things, I have every month things about the new moon, the full moon, and how best to use those wonderful energies, and lots of other things there. If you'd like to book a live reading or sign up for my astrology apprenticeship program, you can also do that at anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely check out my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days, which is an Amazon bestseller. So what's going on this month for you? I'm going to show you the charts that I used to figure out the information that's most important for you. So the layout of the rest of the video will be, we'll switch over to the visual of the charts. I'll show you in detail for the early, middle, and late degree placements, what you can expect for this month, important themes, and best ways to use the energy. Then we'll transition back. You'll see me back here on this video to talk about the general transits, and I'll give you the dates to note and all kinds of other things you need to know for this month. So let's go into those visuals now. Hello, Libra friends. Okay, so we've got a major focus on relationships this month, but we also have some other areas that I want to draw your attention to. So we're going to talk about all of this, and I'll show you the corresponding charts. First, we want to differentiate whether you're an early, middle, or late degree Libra placement. Early is basically our September born, or 0 to 9 degrees. Middle Libra is about October 1st through 10th, or 10 to 19 degrees. And late Libra, October 11th through the rest of the sign, or 20 to 29 degrees. If you do know your degree, then that is going to be more of an accurate predictor of your placement than the actual date, because the day the sun moves into Libra is not the same every year. So this, these dates toggle a little bit. But whatever you're closest to, it will be fine. It's one of those things that, you know, the closer, as long as you're close, then you'll be able to have the most accuracy. I do have questions sometimes if you're a Libra moon or Libra rising. Is this just as accurate and relevant for you? And the answer is yes, because the moon chart, the sun chart, the rising sign chart are all windows looking out of our experience, like in the house of our experience. So whatever's going on outside each window is accurate and going on. It doesn't negate what's going on in the outside the other window. So these are all just different views of the current going-ons for you, and they are equally as relevant. Okay, so I do get that question a lot too, so now you know. All right, so just get this off of here, get this out of here, and then we can look at the charts. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is the planet Uranus, because it is going to be changing. It's moving now into Taurus, and for you early degree placements, that means it's going to start influencing the 8th house. Now, it did dance in this area last year and then pull back, so you did have an introduction to this already. You middle degree placements, you have a while longer before it really starts to get there, but it is going to be, especially for you early middle degrees, like the chunk right at the beginning of the middle placement, you will start to feel this flavor. And that's the thing about these planets, is that if they're somewhere by something, they're in both places. So some of you middle degree people will start feeling this in the 8th house. The rest of you middle and the late degree, you still have Uranus very clearly in the 7th house. So let's talk about the energy that Uranus brings. It brings surprises. It brings things out of nowhere. It brings unpredictable behavior. It brings, just jostling and upsets. But it can also bring breakthroughs of massive proportion and lightning strikes of fortune. It doesn't have to be bad things that come all of a sudden. And when moving into the 8th house, it can bring money out of nowhere. Inheritances, winnings, finding money, loans, capital investments. It's the kind of energy you might want there if you're hoping to have a change in your fortune. your financial fortune. It can also bring surprises as far as debt and credit and taxes. So if there are places where things were kind of not right, you may find Uranus brings those to you or something from the past. But again, it's for better or worse. You know, you could have money come in from redoing a past tax return just as easily as you could owe money. So jostling upset surprises in the area of joint money, spousal money, family money, any loans or anything like that. All right. What is the same for early, middle, and late degree placements is that Uranus has been flavoring and is going to be flavoring 7th or 8th house, which are the relationship sectors. Okay, so that brings me to my theme. You've had a long-term theme of these surprises, upsets, unpredictability in relationship. Sometimes the surprises come from outside, like someone you know or someone close to you is doing something crazy, or a partner coming out of the blue, somebody, you know, that was not on the radar and all of a sudden they're there. But sometimes you are the person who is doing the jostling within the relationships. You could be the force that's upsetting or disrupting. And again, this could be for better or for worse. You know, there could be necessary changes that have to happen and you could be the instigator of that. It's just always really important when Uranus is involved to just try to do everything in as much integrity as possible and to try to default to the spiritual plan. So that's what I always focus on with Uranus, because you'll feel like when Uranus is active in your chart somewhere, it's like you have a finger stuck in the socket for an extended period of time where you're just kind of like a live wire in that field of experience. And you can see it's not just Uranus that's there. I mean, for your early degree placements, you have a ton of energy in the relationship sector. For your middle degree placements, you have a ton as well. And you late degree people, you also. So this is just a Libra thing that's going on. But this is an amazing chance for you to break out of codependency. Libra people came in great people pleasers and knowing instinctively what people need, but often giving to people in a way that sacrifices themselves. So their love for focus on trying to appease and make happy other people, that they forget about themselves. So that might be one of the big themes where you are like, hey, asking the question, what about me? And you should be asking that question. There are going to be other instances where people have been focused on themselves and it's time to make a shift where now they're focusing on others. You know, it's a different story for different people. There are many situations that Libras are currently in where change needs to happen, and you know that the other person is not going to be the one to do it. So you might have to be the one to do it. Now, there are the other Libras that are sitting here like, while their people close to them are doing crazy things. So try to take that as a sign from the universe that there was change that was necessary that maybe you didn't have the wherewithal to make. And so it's like coming to you, but it could turn out to be a good thing. All right, so try to look for the silver lining. All right, let's look at some other areas that are highlighted this month. We've got this 6th house, you can see, is very full and lively for early and middle and late degree placements. Okay, so the 6th house, so something being brought into focus for you all, has to do with changes in your daily routine, changes at the office or wherever you work or spend your time. This could have to do with health things, so definitely guard your health. There's a lot of pressure there, and there could be a lot of energy that you could convert into amazing breakthroughs to create wonderful, radiant health, but there might have to be some attention and changes there. This energy also has to do with pets. So there could be some notable things going on in the world of animals. Okay, so in general, I'm using the late degree chart as an example, but I'm talking about for all Libras. There's still a lot of Pisces energy this month. Venus is going to switch over to Aries and Mercury is going to switch over to Aries later in the month. But this watery energy doesn't blend as well with the air energy. So it might bring more emotions, more having to kind of like feel like you're taking 2 emotional steps back for every emotional step forward. But any work that you do on the inner realms can really help to set you up for leaping forward very soon. Because these planets, as they're moving into Aries, okay, so that's there now, and these are there, but they're long term. But still, those are, favorable for your sign because they blend well, but they also put a lot of pressure of overstimulation. So you've had for a long time overstimulation from these Aries planets making oppositions with your Libra planets. And that can be, catalyst for major change. As these planets move into Aries, they are going to spark an energy that can be motivating and inspiring for you. And at the same time, the chance for overwhelm and overstimulation is going to be very high. So a theme for this month, and I'll get into this more as I talk about the general transits, is you're going to want to take action. But if you're not sure about what action to take, then just try to relax until you know exactly what to do. And so on that note, I want to talk in more detail about how the energies this month, also combined with Jupiter going into retrograde, how these energies can be used in the best way and what things that you have to understand to best maneuver through this month gracefully. Okay, so let's look at the general transits now. So the theme for April 2019 for the general transits is the urge for action, but ... And I will explain in detail as to why I'm calling it that. So the astrological new year begins at the end of March each year, and at that time, the sun moves into Aries, which is the astrological new year. Shortly after, or sometimes coinciding with, in this case, shortly after the sun moves into Aries, other personal planets, meaning the ones that are closest to us, start moving into Aries. So the sun will start out the month in Aries. Midway into the month, we'll have Mercury, then Venus is going to follow shortly after in Aries. So all of this action energy will make you want to do something. So adding to the drive for action, Mars is going to be in Gemini. Mars is how we use our energy, and Gemini is all over the place. And it's always really busy. It's thinking, it's talking, it's doing, and it's restless. So we've got Aries energy, which is among the most restless in the zodiac. We've got Gemini energy, which is among the most restless in the zodiac, combining together, and people are going to want to talk and move around and go places and do things. Plus, we will have just gotten out of a watery, Mercury retrograde covered month of March, and people are going to be ready for some action. So this energy all combined can be great for getting things done, but there is a hurriedness about it. And a recklessness, and sometimes not paying attention. So it increases the chances for accidents or doing something, slip-ups in ways that aren't positive. So you definitely want to be more careful, pay more attention, add some breath, add some consciousness to all of this oomph energy, because you really need to take more caution. This month carries some awkwardness in the way that although we have all this fire energy and then the important air energy in the Gemini, there will be all of this like pent up energy to do things. But because there's still energy in Pisces that's transitioning over, this water energy, specifically in Pisces, can bring more of an abstractness, like an uncertainty, an inner focus, and just really not feeling sure. So when you have the combination of like you need to do something, but you don't know exactly what to do, then that can cause a lot of wasted energy, just putting a whole bunch of energy into something and then a couple of weeks later realizing, as the Mercury retrograde post-shadow transit energies shift mid-month, that actually the direction is completely different. So you're going to be chomping at the bit at the beginning of April and say, oh, Mercury is direct, time to do stuff. But I really want you to hear that in that first couple of weeks, try to find your certainty before you take action and commit. Mid-month is much better for committing, it's much better for certainty, it's much better for clarity. So the more that you can be sure about what you're doing instead of doing for the sake of itself, the better. And the more you can tune into the inspired action rather than action just for the sake of itself. So like tuning into what spirit wants you to do rather than you just being so whacked out that you have to do something. So, going to the gym, exercising, doing things that can get this energy out. But of course, be careful when you're doing those things as well, that it's not too aggressive and you don't hurt yourself. So definitely watch the signs and the synchronicities closely, because those will be the things that can help match you with the best path. The other thing that's going on this month is that Jupiter is moving into retrograde, and it's going to be there for months, okay? And when this happens, the expansion frenzy that was occurring before then starts to stop, basically. And sensitive people may have felt this even earlier, because there is a pre-retrograde transit shadow transit before Jupiter goes retrograde as well. So if you're finding that even in the open window of February, the end of January and February, if you were starting to slow down, your ambitions were starting to slow down, that could have been Jupiter getting ready to go into retrograde. And so during this time, having kind of a break from the long unbridled expansion spree can be of benefit, because you can take stock and evaluate. So pulling in carefully to evaluate the next steps is a really good move. It doesn't mean you can't do anything or shouldn't do anything. It just means if you naturally are losing your ambitions, then don't be concerned when Jupiter, it will come back, basically. Definitely economy of energy utilization is called for now. That's one of the things that Jupiter, especially in Sag, really wants when it goes into retrograde, is how you are spreading yourself thin and how you can condense your efforts so that you can be much more productive. So basically, fewer brilliantly placed actions that are supported by inner certainty are much better this month than just crazy haphazard action for the sake of itself. I really love this time for spring or down under fall cleaning, and I definitely love Marie Kondo's message to release anything that doesn't spark joy. This way you have surroundings and everything in your life with things only that spark joy. She's got 2 amazing books that I highly recommend, and this is an amazing time for taking action on things like that. Definitely vision boards are well supported at this time. So the new year, the astrological new year started at the end of March 20th, when the sun moved into Aries. But the New Year's kickoff party is when the new moon in Aries happens, which is on April 5th. So that's one of the best days of the whole year for a vision board, and the days around there and this time, it's really great for putting things together to help you figure out what you want to create this year. It's a really wonderful time for planting seeds. Something interesting about this month is that most of the days that have sweet aspects are completely coupled with days that have challenging aspects. So there's not as much of an easy time to say this time is good, this time is challenging. We've got a few days right in the beginning of the month where there's a series of sweet aspects, but then pretty much for the rest of the month there's just like dicey, sweet, dicey, sweet, dicey, sweet. So just really tune in to how your personal flow is with these transits. That full moon on April 19th is definitely going to be very intense. It's a full moon at 29 degrees of Libra, so like culmination of relationship things. So definitely look out for surprises then. There are some sweet aspects that go along with that full moon, and there's also some dicey ones that go along with that full moon, but definitely very intense. So if you want a detailed list of the dates of each of the aspects and what goes along with those, you can sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. When you sign up for my free email newsletter, you also get access to my 28-day virtual coaching program, which is free when you sign up. So you can just go deep in with that, and then plus you'll get this written report in your inbox delivered a month early, so that you can have a visual understanding of what's coming. AnnieHelpsYou.com, you can book a live reading with me. You can check out my astrology apprenticeship program if you resonate with how I do astrology and you'd love to learn with me. I also have some other wonderful vocational support courses that you can take, as well as subliminals to help train your mind to create the life you want. I've got all kinds of other goodies on my site. If you'd like written reports, astrology reports, horoscopes from me, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com for monthly written horoscopes that often have different information than is in my videos. And there are other blogs there as well too, natural lifestyle blogs. So definitely check those things out, and you can check out my husband's website, iamhelios.com, iamhelios.com. He always has very interesting goodies there, and he does tarot and astrology as well. So I would love for you to check out my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days. This is an Amazon bestseller, and it is wonderful for anyone who really wants to shift their experience in life in a very simple but powerful way with this beautiful little book. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.